Hi everyone, this is Real Life Orgo Group 35, and today we'll be talking to you about the chemical compound pyrethrin. Pyrethrins can be synthesized from two different plants, the Chrysanthemum cinerarifolium and the Chrysanthemum coccineum. The two different plants will lead to two different pyrethrins, but we will only be talking about pyrethrin 1 today. A few of the characteristics are listed here along with the chemical structure of the compound. Pyrethrin has been being used as an insecticide since early 1000 BC. The Chinese were the first to begin crushing the dried petals and using the powder to keep bugs away. It is primarily used to prevent fleas and ticks, but insecticides containing pyrethrin are highly toxic to bees, wasps, and other beneficial insects, as well as certain fish. It has been found, though, that relatively small doses are not lethal to small rodents such as rabbits or mice that may occupy garden areas. Natural pyrethrins are highly fat-soluble and degrade quickly in sunlight, therefore making it unlikely that the compound would accumulate in the bodies of animals or in the general food chain. It is the strongest insecticide that is allowed under National Organic Standard guidelines. However, it is one of the safest.
Chrysanthemum cinerarifolium contains more pyrethrin. Pyrethrin is produced by extracting dried flowers and produces 25 to 50% of pyrethrin extracts. The extracts from flower contain 6 different types of natural pyrethrins. Discovery of the absolute configuration of the natural pyrethrin led to the development of synthetic pyrethrin called pyrethroids, by modifying the acid moiety and the alcohol moiety. Synthetic pyrethroids are replacing natural pyrethrins. It is because the natural pyrethrins are not very stable. Pyrethrins are modified to produce pyrethroids with better stability and insecticidal strength. However, natural pyrethrins are still being used. Pyrethroids have similar characteristics to pyrethrin with its insecticidal property. Here are a few examples of pyrethroids: elythrin and permethrin. In this video, we're mainly focusing on pyrethrin 1.
Well, now that we have some background on where pyrethrins come from, we can discuss its characteristics. Some of the chemical properties that are important are listed here. As you can see, it's insoluble in water due to its very non-polar structure, which is important because it's used in products like dog shampoos or pesticides, things that are commonly in contact with water. Having pyrethrin in shampoo takes advantage of the fact that it's insect toxic and will ward off the unwanted insects that could potentially be harmful, but it's not very toxic to mammals. Here are some images of the structure of pyrethrin 1. Some of the functional groups include an ester and a ketone, as depicted in the image on the left. But the main focus is the two different sides of a pyrethrin depicted on the right, the alcohol moiety and the acid moiety. These groups define how that side of the compound is going to react. The active groups are labeled above the right structure and affect the physical properties and three-dimensional configuration of pyrethrin. These are the active groups for pyrethrin 1, and they're what's responsible for its properties. It's really common for this compound to undergo esterase at that central ester bond in the middle. This cleaves the parent molecule, leading to different reactivity and degeneration. With that said, I think we have seen enough evidence that this structure is unstable in its natural form. This has led to intensive studies of pyrethrins in order to synthesize more stable forms. Another variation for production is adding other chemicals to protect the pyrethrin from metabolizing. This method has allowed us to make synthetic pyrethroids from more readily available reagents by modifying the acid moiety or esterifying the alcohol. Synthetics try to improve the toxicity of insects while maintaining low mammal toxicity, since that is an important attribute to this compound. Whether it's synthetic or natural pyrethrin, it will decompose. Here's a very general idea of that metabolic pathway. I mentioned earlier that pyrethrin will undergo esterase at that central ester bond, but the mechanism after that gets a little complicated. What's important to know is that pyrethrins are easily metabolized. This is a common characteristic of insecticides and is due to the effects of esterase and monooxygenase. Its decomposition leads to an inactive molecule. That outcome has positive and negative effects that we're going to continue to discuss.
Pyrethrin is mainly used as insecticides. It is used to control pests like ticks, flies, mosquitoes, and cockroaches. Pyrethrin kills insects by penetrating their sodium channels on their nerve system, which makes them unable to move. When pyrethrin binds to sodium channels, normal functions of the channels is obstructed. Therefore, it results in hyperexcitation of the nerve cell and a loss of function of the nerve cell. Some insects might be able to recover from pyrethrin exposure because it can't be detoxified in their body. Therefore, pyrethrin is usually mixed with other chemicals and commercial products. Structures of common synergies are shown above. They are added to increase the toxicity of pyrethrin by 1 to 100 times. For example, piperonyl butoxide is not harmful by itself. However, it slows down insects from releasing enzymes that break down pesticides, which makes pyrethrin more effective.
Although pyrethrin is a very helpful and relatively safe insecticide, there is an acute toxicity in which inhaling high levels of pyrethrin can cause asthmatic breathing, sneezing, nasal stuffiness, headache, nausea, incoordination, tremors, convulsions, facial flushing and swelling, and burning and itching sensations, according to the pesticide information profile on pyrethrins from Cornell University. The most severe poisonings have been reported in infants who can't break down the pyrethrin. Pyrethrum is the crude form of pyrethrin, and it is more harmful in mammals and can lead to paralysis and even death. There is also chronic toxicity that is associated with pyrethrin in that it is relatively low in humans, and most of the problems humans have are mild allergies such as skin irritation, itching and burning, and the symptoms usually only last for around 2 days. Most of the toxicity is associated with respiratory function and absorption through the skin. But commercial pyrethrin, which is more common, is far less damaging than the crude form pyrethrum. However, there has been an instance in which pyrethrin has been fatal. An 11-year-old girl diagnosed with asthma at age 6, who had never been hospitalized and didn't use much medication other than albuterol, was giving her pet dog a bath using a pet shampoo that had 0.2% pyrethrin. She began to be symptomatic, having severe shortness of breath and wheezing. She was taken to a hospital and intubated and treated for an aggressive asthmatic attack. She did not respond to treatment and died just 2.5 hours after initial exposure. The autopsy showed that there was inflammation in the lungs, and the cause of death was listed as a respiratory arrest secondary to acute asthmatic attack. This was a direct effect of the 0.2% pyrethrin in the pet shampoo.
Although there have been bad instances with pyrethrin, it has many beneficial uses. Well-known examples include pet shampoos and sprays that kill fleas, ticks, lice on contact. Large dose of pyrethrin may cause liver damages in animals. However, it is relatively safe to use because it quickly breaks down into inactive forms. Pyrethrin is contained in the household insect sprays and foggers that can be used indoors. It is also contained in lice-killing shampoos, proving again it is safe for humans to use. Pyrethrin is best used as a spot spray on infested plants. It is very toxic to insects, which means it is as effective to beneficial insects such as ladybugs and honeybees. Its toxicity raises a question. Is pyrethrin safe to be sprayed on food crops? The answer is yes. Pyrethrin is rapidly degraded via photochemical reactions, which result from isomerization of the substituents on the cyclopropane ring and oxidation of the acid and alkyl moiety. Half-life of pyrethrin is about 12 hours in water and 13 hours on soil, which makes pyrethrin relatively safe to use on food crops. Pyrethrin is also used to protect crops in the storages. As shown in the equation and graphs above, pyrethrins degenerate faster in higher temperature. Therefore, it is best to keep the temperature minimal in crop storages.
What we hope you have learned from our video is that pyrethrins are synthesized from the chrysanthemum flower and can be used as natural insecticides. They can be toxic in large doses, but are overall safe for animals and people to use. Thank you for watching Real Life Orgo with Group 35.